Hello, MSOE fans, and welcome to the Raider Report, where we sit down with MSOE coaches to discuss all things Raider athletics, from game reactions to recruiting news and everything in between. The Raider Report has all the behind-the-scenes details and news you want. All right, and this week we are welcoming back the head coach of women's volleyball, Kris Susak. Coach, welcome back.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Let's get right back into it. You guys finally, felt like we were waiting forever for you guys to make your home debut. Finally happened last week. How did it feel to finally play at home in front of our fans?
It was a great experience. I think just having our crowd in the stands made it so much more fun. And obviously we didn't necessarily walk out with a win. We didn't play the way that we know we can, but I think it only fueled us for the rest of conference play. And obviously going into Saturday, we came out with 2 wins there. So I think a great learning experience, but a lot of progress still to be made.
For sure. And your record stands right now, 6 wins, 9 losses, but you guys have won 3 of your last 4, as you said, we're just, a week or 2 away here from conference play. What's clicking right now as of late? How do you get those 3 in the last 4?
Yeah, so a lot of our focus right now in every scouting report that I put together is just win the serve-receive battle. So passing is obviously a very critical component of the game. And I think that when we are passing well, it allows us to spread our offense out. It allows us to get different people involved and obviously makes our setters' jobs a lot easier. So I think if we can continue being aggressive when we're at the service line and then getting up good passes, we're in a good position.
And I think, volleyball passing is something that I think you watch the game and you take it for granted, like it's automatic. As someone who played 1 semester of volleyball in high school, I don't know if it was just the way my arms are shaped, but it's so hard to get a platform. Is that what you call it?
Yes.
It's borderline like impossible. I don't know if it was just my body, but it's so hard to at least get it consistent and actually deliver to where you want it to go. Like, I'm just blindly swinging. Half the time. But I think as a fan, we take that for granted when that's like
absolutely
a real skill. Like, it's like hitting a baseball. Like, it's crazy difficult, and I don't think a lot of people think of that. You've been with this team now for a while. You guys were traveling on the road a lot. I'm sure you got way closer to them in those couple weeks than you ever anticipated.
Correct. Yes.
Compare the team right now to the team that walked in the Kern when you first got here back in the spring.
Oh, wow. A lot of changes for the better, I would say. The girls are really buying into this culture of success that I'm trying to create. And you're seeing, obviously the freshmen don't necessarily know any different. So a lot of freshmen stepping up in prominent roles. And at one point this past week, we actually had 5 of 6 freshmen on the court.
Dang.
5 of 6 positions on the court. 5 of them were freshmen. We do have a lot of freshmen. But no, I think the girls are doing a really great job of just making changes and adjustments and learning a lot. And my parents actually came, so they were able to see us last fall. And then they were out at, one of our preseason tournaments. And even they had said, just the energy shift, everyone's talking, communicating, just a lot of changes in a very positive way. So I'm very thankful for that. Obviously, it is a process, and I think we do still have a lot of strides to take, but we're doing that in a timely manner, and that's really all we can hope for, especially as we gear up for conference.
And that's something that I've heard echoed, throughout campus, is that the communication from the team is night and day, and that there's, energy in the gym. You hear the players communicating. So I think that is a very noticeable difference compared to years past. I've heard you talk about how important confidence is for an athlete. Can you talk to me about why that is, the importance of confidence? And then talk to me what it's like dealing with that as a coach, because it's not like correcting a technique or something like that, or effort.
Yeah.
Confidence is, it's completely mental, and it's something you can't even always address.
Correct. Yes. So confidence is huge with volleyball being such a mental game. If you're not confident in your abilities, it's very hard for other people to be confident in you. So if you're a setter, why would you want to give the ball to someone that's not confident in their hitting abilities? So I definitely preach confidence, just because, again, if you're not doing the things that will instill that trust from other people, you're not going to have a cohesive unit on the floor. So yes, it's not something that's necessarily teachable, but as a coach, I definitely try to just give them as much confidence as I have in them and hope that they can kind of run with it. So we have a lot of girls that it's definitely something they struggle with, but at the same time, it kind of gives me something to work towards, just because they all have the ability to play volleyball. They've proven that time and time again. So what am I doing as a coach to then let them know that, hey, I'm confident in you. I need you to be confident in yourself. Like, I know you can go out there and get a pass. I know you can go out there and get a kill. But if you're not confident in your abilities, it's not going to create a cohesive environment for everyone else. So it's definitely something that we're all working towards. I mean, I would be lying if I said I'd never struggled with confidence. Like, it's something that I think, especially just being a female athlete, it's very easy to compare yourself to the person next to you. But at the end of the day, the only person you should be comparing yourself to is that previous version of you. And how are you making strides? How are you continuing to improve and ultimately bettering the team in the process?
For sure. And I think it's just a very human thing, especially in today's age of social media,
For sure.
Confidence, in general, especially at this stage of their life too.
Definitely.
That's something that everyone is dealing with.
Yeah.
Have you gotten superstitious at all now being the head coach?
I've always been a little superstitious, but I would say it's definitely kind of progressed. I mean, for example, on Saturday, I had brought a blazer to change into just in case I got cold, and I was freezing. My hands were purple, but we had won our first match and I didn't have the blazer on. So then I sucked it up and did not put the blazer on for match 2, despite being very, very cold. So yes, I am definitely a superstitious person.
Respect for that. I give you mad props for that, though, because you recognized it and you could have easily just went, it doesn't matter. But you toughed it out, and kudos to you.
Yeah, and we got 2 wins, so
rock on. All right, Ray or Rapid Fire. I'm not sure if I've asked you some of these before, so I will do my best to not be redundant. Dogs or cats?
At my current stage in life, I'm going to go cats. I have 2 cats at home, but growing up, I always had dogs. So I would say I'm just really an animal person.
What color cats?
I have a black cat, and he has a white spot on his belly, and then I have a black and white cat.
Nice.
Yes.
Names?
Emmy and Louie.
Oh, that's fun.
Emmy just turned 3 on Friday.
And who would you say, are they similar personality-wise? Do you have like a chill cat and then a crazy cat?
They both have very big personalities, but very, very different. So Emmy likes to escape. So she has actually jumped out my window before. I live on the second. Yes, I live on the 2nd floor, and I think a month prior I had gotten her spayed, and they asked me if I wanted to microchip her, and I said, why would I pay an extra $100 to get her microchipped when she's an indoor cat? A month later, she jumps out my window. And thankfully, I was able to find her. It was in the summer, so no snow or anything, but I was getting home. It was getting dark, and I'm like, the house seems oddly quiet. Like, where is she? And then I noticed that the window, like the screen had been
popped out.
Yes. So immediate panic, but again, Thankfully, I was able to find her. Louis is much more chill. He, aside from mornings, he will just constantly meow at me until I feed him. But he is very vocal. He is the more chill of the 2, though, for sure.
That's awesome. You just unlocked a memory, which maybe explains why I'm a little neurotic and anxiety-ridden. But our dog growing up, Trixie, was a pit bull mix.
Oh.
And she used to hop our fence.
No.
And just get out. And she was harmless. But she was a pit bull mix, so the optics weren't great.
Yes. And
that was always a fun, like my mom, running back inside. Oh, she hopped the fence. We got to go looking for her. And then just that immediate panic. She was always at the park, but
she was making friends.
I don't miss that. I don't miss having to go wrangle my pet and wondering where they are.
My dogs growing up, we had 2 Cavalier King Charles Spaniels, and we lived on a golf course. And so it had like the metal fence.
Sure. But
they would just like slip between and then go run on the golf course chasing golf balls.
Yep.
It was very not fun to then either climb the fence or try and squeeze through the fence. Yes. Which once I got to a certain age, I'm like, I can't fit through the fence anymore. So then we had to start hopping it. But yeah, no, I don't miss chasing after dogs.
All right. I hate to put you on the spot with this one, but favorite food and from where?
I think having moved to Wisconsin about 4 years ago and truly embracing my inner Wisconsinite, I'm going to have to say Lakefront Brewery's cheese curds.
I have heard that those are some of the best, and I still have yet to get out there.
You're missing out. You really are.
That's a critical error on my part. Best athlete you've ever seen in person. You can go obscure with this. It could be someone you saw back play Little League in 4th grade if you want.
You know, I'm going to go Haley Washington. She was on the Olympic volleyball team.
Okay.
And we played at the same club growing up, and then we played for rival high schools. And my biggest flex is that I blocked her one time.
Okay, so she was a hitter. She
was a middle hitter, and this girl touched, I think, over 11 feet. So Kris beat me. I am not jumping that high. So to get one singular block on her, I was like, I've blocked an Olympian. That's my biggest flex.
I would hang my hat on that for sure. So the Bears' starting tight end right now is Cole Kmet, and he played defensive end in high school.
Okay.
I'm a year older than him.
Okay.
It's also depressing to think about.
Yeah.
But I blocked the hell out of him.
Yes.
The day, and every chance I get to bring that up, I do.
As you should. As you should.
Would you rather stream a movie at home or go to the theater?
Absolutely stream a movie. I would rather be on my couch with my popcorn and snacks, and yeah, I'm not a huge movie theater person.
It's a damn shame that I am in an office with a bunch of people who prefer to stream a movie.
Really?
Don't appreciate the movie theater. Maybe that's being too strong on my part, but everyone is a stream. And
really?
It makes me a little bit sad.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I mean, I will suck it up and we can go to a movie.
Oh, thank you so much. That means so much. All right. Favorite dessert or sweet treat?
Ice cream for sure.
And what?
Or custard. I'm not picky.
Okay. If you're going to get custard, are you getting a mix in?
Oh yeah, cookie dough.
Cookie dough.
Yep.
Okay. And then if you're going to the store, do you have a brand loyalty?
Love Ben and Jerry's. There's a few. The Tonight Dough.
Okay.
Fish food.
Yep.
Or which one? There's one with like brownie batter or something that's fantastic.
Sure.
I'm not picky. I just really enjoy ice cream. Crazy people. I don't know.
Yeah. And then, all right, now that you've done several road trips,
yes.
What are the best movies that the team can put on, and what are the worst movies the team can put on? You don't need to get super specific if you don't have anything, but at least like genre-wise. What gets a growth from you?
So, fun fact, we actually have not watched any movies yet on road trips this season because they forget to bring movies. So we have not watched a single movie. However,
so DVDs don't even cross their mind.
They're like, oh, we have to go to the library to rent them. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like this, yes. Anyways, from my experience when I was an athlete and doing 10 plus hour road trips, Winona was a piece of cake. But I would say definitely comedy. And the movie that comes to mind is Bridesmaids.
As a good one?
As a great one, yes.
For sure.
Just a lot of laughs. Absolutely ridiculous. I would say Bridesmaids or just anything that gets the bus laughing is a win. But my college coach also would like to put on like horror movies.
That's a different one.
I am a baby when it comes to horror movies.
A lot of people are.
So I would put my headphones in and blanket over my head and not watch a thing. And then sometimes I would like look up and I'd see something I did not want to see. And I'm like, yeah, so that would probably be my worst genre of movie.
That's correct. I have never heard of anyone doing the horror movie. So
on a bus when it's nighttime.
Was this like a divide amongst the team? Like we're half really into it?
Sometimes the coaches would just be like, "We chose the movie. This is what you guys are watching," and it's like, "Oh goodness, okay, headphones in, blanket over the head, we're done."
Sounds like you guys might have needed to organize a mutiny at some point. Bus rides,
I was so intimidated by my college coach. I wasn't saying a word. I was just gonna ignore the movie and move on.
I mean, that's completely understandable. Like in hindsight, yeah, very easy to say. But
maybe as a senior, but coming in as a freshman, I'm like, oh god, this is what they like. I'm terrified.
That's wild. All right, let's get back on track here. I'm going to ask you about some of your players here.
Sounds good.
Emma Schatzschneider, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, that's a long one.
Yes.
Is just 1 point away from 200 this season, and the next closest person on the team, who we'll get to later, is at 83.5. Can you put that in a little bit of perspective for us?
Yes. So Emma, I mean, first of all, she's a phenomenal player, but we've talked to our setters just about kind of dispersing the ball to many people. So, for example, we work on out-of-system plays for both our pins, so outsides and right sides, and it's something that I think we've just gotten very comfortable with sending that ball to the outside if we are in out-of-system. But we're definitely working to kind of get more people involved, just because if we're only sending it to one person predominantly, we're very predictable. So how are we getting other people involved, especially our middles? But with our passing being not as consistent as we would like right now, we're definitely working on that a ton. You can ask my players, they work on serve receive literally every day. So, but just because if you can't pass a ball, you can't get anyone involved. So we work a ton on passing, but when our passing does kind of break down, you really only have one option in those moments. So a lot of times those balls will go to the outside, and Emma does a great job of kind of managing the game and keeping the ball in play, and oftentimes gets a kill. So yeah, she's a great player, and I enjoy being in the gym with her. She's very competitive, and her and I kind of relate in that in that way. So I think having someone that just has that fire in them to go out and win and do what they need to do, it's really fun to coach.
For sure. You hate to use the word potential. I know a lot of coaches hate to use that word, but the season that you guys had last year and what she was able to do was an all-MAC honorable mention. Her potential is damn near limitless here.
Yep.
Like, it is crazy. So awesome to see that she's gotten off to a hot start this season.
For sure.
We've seen a few different Raiders take a crack at being a setter this season. We've seen Morgan Borchard do it. We've seen Brooke Flederman do it. Joelle Harrington, Olivia Bartles. What are you looking for in your primary setter? And does anyone have the edge yet in that battle?
So the setter is a very tricky position, and we do have 4 players, potentially 5. Jill McDaniel does a great job when she has hands, but we've kind of transitioned her just to being a right side right now. But no, we've transitioned Olivia to being more of a defensive specialist just because her defense is fantastic. So she came in last year. Olivia came in last year as a defensive specialist, and then we actually kind of moved her to setter last fall. And then I think we're kind of leaning towards having her in that more defensive role this year. But no, we've seen, Morgan, Brooke, and Joe, they all do a great job when they have the opportunity to. Now it's just really finding that consistency. So who can connect best with their hitters? And then at the end of the day, I just want someone to really take over and lead as a setter. Like, I am looking for someone who is commanding the court, not just letting plays go by, not just letting passers kind of slack off. Like, I'm looking for someone who absolutely takes charge and doesn't ask any questions when they do it. So I think we've definitely seen, Brooks stepping up as a freshman. She's done a great job so far. Her defense is very solid. Same with Morgan. And then Joe puts up a really solid block. So I think right now it's really just finding who connects best with their hitters and giving everyone the opportunity to prove themselves in that role. But yeah, just looking for someone to absolutely take over.
And I know it's not a one-to-one analogy, if you will, but is the setter kind of the point guard or quarterback of a volleyball team?
For sure. Yep. So they're the ones that, obviously they're involved in every play in some capacity. So when you have that kind of power, it's like you need someone who's confident in their abilities. You need someone who's going to consistently put up a hittable ball. And I think we have, realistically 4 great options there, but at the same time, just looking for that leadership.
For sure. And on top of all that, you mentioned you kind of have to have this Iron Man
for sure
potential to you, because you're running all over the court, and that's something I didn't realize again until I was sitting and I'm like, oh geez, this person is flying all over, especially when in the women's game when you have some of the long rallies like you do. It's truly something. Yeah.
No, I actually made a joke on, I can't remember, I think it was on Thursday at our home opener. I looked at our passers and I'm like, you guys should be buying the setters running shoes at this point, the way you're passing. Like, we need to step it up, because they were running all over the place, absolutely hustling. And but obviously that's not necessarily what we want them to be doing. We would like more consistent passes, but again, that comes with time, that comes with trusting the process. And again, the team knows exactly what they need to do. Now it's just doing it effectively, doing it consistently.
For sure. Ava Larson was the player previously mentioned, second on the team with 83.5 points. She has a whopping 28 blocks this season, I think 10 better than the next Raider. Tell me what she brings to the team.
Ava is an absolute powerhouse. She puts up a solid block, and that's part of the reason, even when her hitting isn't necessarily what we want it to be, she finds a way on the court because we need her block. So blocking is something, again, I think is very kind of underrated, just because something that I've preached to my team is just, regardless of if you're getting block kills, if you're getting good touches on the ball, or if you're even just setting up a consistent, solid block that allows our defense to play around you, like that's just as good as getting a block kill. So I think our team does a great job of doing that. But at the same time, like, yeah, she's phenomenal. She is a great player. Again, very fun to coach. And just seeing her progress throughout even this season has been great. So I think she still has a ton of potential. I think she still has a ceiling that has yet to be hit, and I'm hopeful and excited at the opportunity to take her there. But yeah, with it being her last season, I think she's done a really great job of just buying in and making changes and being coachable, and that's really all I can ask for. So
for sure, and we're all excited to see you guys gear up here for conference play that gets started October 4th, I believe is the first conference.
So our home opener was conference against IIT.
Or the start of the full run.
Correct, yes. So next Friday, yep.
All right, before I get you out of here, Coach, what is your favorite place in Milwaukee? And I'm going to expand this out to the greater Milwaukee area. And I'm talking like a little hole-in-the-wall spot that maybe not many people know about. So
I live up in Shorewood, and there is a little park within walking distance from me that's right on the lake, and there's a like concrete path that goes out like into the water.
Okay.
So you can like walk into the lake essentially, but you're still not in the water, if that makes sense.
Sure.
And I absolutely love it. I'll just bring a journal. I'll go out, sit out there, and it's just so serene. Not a lot of people know about it, and it's not like it's a big like beach. There's not a huge like shore or anything. Sure. So no one's going there to like hang out at the beach. They're going there to kind of walk around and explore. So very unfortunate. There was a sinkhole there. So the park was it's been shut down for the last few months. So that was very disappointing because it's like my safe space. I absolutely love it there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think I don't really drive that way anymore just because I drive the opposite way down here. So I haven't seen any progress on it. But no, that's definitely my favorite place in Milwaukee.
That sounds serene as all
It is. It really is.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for joining us, Coach, and hopefully we'll catch up with you before the playoffs start.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
You can follow Raider Athletics on YouTube at MSOE Raider Athletics, and you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at MSOE_Raiders. Don't forget to find us on Spotify too. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, repost, share, and get the word out to all your Raider friends and family. We want you to be heard. Mention us on social media and tell us what you want to hear about. Go Raiders!